Prior to that, what was your position?
Before that, I was the Deputy Chief Medical Examiner at the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office in Atlanta. And prior to that, I was with the Medical Investigator's Office for the state of New Mexico in Albuquerque.
And in the capacity in which you've worked, how long have you worked as a medical examiner?
Well, I finished my training in, at the beginning of, well, the end of December of 1985. And so just coming up on 15 years now that I've been doing this work.
And in the capacity in which you've worked, do you normally testify for the defense of the prosecution?
Well, the vast majority of times, easily 90% or more, I'm called by the prosecution because of what I do. I do autopsies in sudden and unexpected and violent deaths, and many of those end up being homicides, and I end up testifying for the state in murder trials.
And have you testified in cases in which the state has requested the death penalty?
Oh, yes.
Is that a fairly common involvement of yours in the state of Georgia?
I would say probably once or twice a year, approximately, it works out. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But I would say I've been involved in at least 30 death penalty trials over my career in Georgia, Florida, and New Mexico.
And does it trouble you in any way to be testifying in a case where the state is asking for death?
Oh, no. I have no ethical or moral opposition to the death penalty from my perspective. I portray the evidence as I see it, and whatever judgment is given is whatever is given.
Dr. Sperry, what was your first involvement in the case of Phillip Workman? How did you become involved?
I was first involved in 1995 when I was contacted by Chris Minton, actually one of the attorneys involved in this, and asked to review information regarding the autopsy examination and specifically questions about the ammunition that may have been responsible for the officer's death.
And let me ask you, in this case, there were two types of ammunition that, as far as we know, were being fired that night. Phillip Workman was using .45 caliber silver tip hollow point ammunition, and the police department was using .38 caliber copper jacketed hollow point high velocity ammunition. Is
Yes.
that correct? And what are the characteristics of the silver tip .45 caliber ammunition that Mr. Workman was using?
All right. The silver tip ammunition is made by Winchester, and it's called silver tip because when you look at one of the bullets, it looks like a silver bullet, like the Lone Ranger would shoot. They are hollow point in that there is a hollow space at the tip, and the jacket, the metal part that is the silvery colored material, comes up over the end and goes down the middle. And the edges around the opening of the bullet are scored. That is, there's little notches around the edge. This jacket, this silver tip jacket, is made out of a very soft metal, and the design of the bullet, actually, with the soft jacket and the little scored markings, is designed to make the bullet mushroom and open up as it goes into the body, thus giving more energy into the body and causing more damage. And that's the reason why bullets are designed for law enforcement uses, is to shoot individuals in the line of duty and to stop them from doing what they're doing. So the silver tip ammunition is designed to mushroom, and this jacket actually is very soft. You can bend it in your fingers as compared with other types of jackets, the copper types that are used in other bullets. And as a consequence, this bullet very rarely exits from the body, especially if there's a trunk shot. And also it opens up and mushrooms and fragments. And frequently the jacket itself will actually separate off from the bullet core and pieces will break off.
And what about the characteristics then of the .38 caliber ammunition that the police were using that night?
The .38 caliber, it's called semi-jacketed because there is a copper jacket that goes about halfway up the bullet. Then the nose is lead with an opening or a hole in the middle to make it a hollow point. The copper jacket is much different from the jacket in the silver tips because the copper jacket is very hard and actually holds the whole thing together. In fact, you can't bend one of these jackets, the metal from it, in your fingers because it's very, very thick and hard. As a consequence, this particular bullet will mushroom some and sometimes may fragment, but actually because the jacket that encompasses and surrounds the bottom part is so sturdy, it actually holds the bullet together, and it will penetrate farther and actually has a greater likelihood of exiting. It's not uncommon for them to exit.
And what is the designation? I think it was HP. What does that mean in terms of the
plus P?
Plus P.